Hello again and welcome to Playthrough Board Games. This is the Christmas edition of Playthrough Board Games, and by Christmas I mean we're going to show you some of the board games that we picked up over the holidays. A few of these I've played before. Betrayal at House on the Hill is one that is familiar to our gaming circle. It's a semi-cooperative game that has been that a number of people have recorded playthroughs for, and it's a lot of fun. If you get a chance, one of the best playthroughs I've seen on it was done by Will Wheaton and his group. The next game in our lineup is Fallen. Fallen is a Kickstarter that has just been released. I've been waiting for this for quite some time, so to get it right before Christmas is really nice. I'm going to do a breakdown of the box components soon, and I also wanted to show you, this is the Kickstarter edition, so there'll be a large number of items that maybe aren't in the retail box. But also, I purchased a number of the items that, a number of the expansions that were available during the Kickstarter campaign. In fact, all 4 of them are here, and we'll look at those individually as well. The third game in this lineup is Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter is a game that I've been trying to get my hands on for a long time. This was after seeing it on Watch It Played. I enjoyed that playthrough very much and thought it might be a good game for our gaming group. It's cooperative again, with an element of someone who acts as a betrayer, and there are a large number of scenarios to play. So this has a lot of replayability as well. This is something I'll likely take to our gaming group this week and let them try it out. The next game in our set is Imperial Assault. I've been waiting for this game for a long time as well. When I heard that Fantasy Flight Games was going to be releasing a Descent-like version of Star Wars, I was pretty excited, and I was particularly excited about one of the models of the AT-ST. I'll be doing a breakdown of this game at some point as well. Though I know there are a number of them, I'm still interested in just showing what it looks like, and anyone who's interested in our channel can go through the process of looking at the components with us. Finally, the last game in this set is the Munchkin Deluxe set. I picked this up because I've been wanting to try Munchkin with my family. It's maybe still a little too hard for my son. He's 6, and we tried it this morning just for fun. We made it through some parts of the game, but the rules are a little hard to follow if you can't read, and that's going to be an issue for us, I believe. However, I believe in a year or two he'll be ready for it, and this is just a fun, light game that was also showcased on tabletop. I think you should check it out if you get a chance, especially if you own some of the expansions. So let's begin by opening up the Fallen box and seeing what we have inside. Here's the box itself. It's similar to the box cover we've seen on the website. This is a 2-player competitive game. One player takes on the role of someone like the Overlord, like in Descent, while the other player takes on the role of the character, the player character, who's trying to defeat the Overlord. But it's story-driven, and that's what appealed to me about it. There are a large number of story cards in this box, and those story cards are what drive the game and drive a narrative that you can take part in as both the player and the Overlord type character. So let's look at the back. See what the game contains. Here is a list of the contents. 22 custom dice, 445 game cards, 80 story cards, 138 tokens, and 12 characters. I believe that the numbers here will differ from the numbers seen in the retail version. Let me show you how you identify that this is the Kickstarter version, at least one way. Here you can see the symbol on the box says Fallen Kickstarter Edition New. So that's one way to tell. I also believe that maybe the FK01 means Fallen Kickstarter 01, and that may be what some of the symbols that differentiate this box from the retail box. There are a number of monsters that you can see on the box, along with a hero or two. The dice are showcased here, which there are various dice depending on what level your character is and how strong of an attack a particular attack might be. The story cards are shown here, and cards that you play with are shown here. Let's open it up and see what the inside looks like. Okay. Here's the inside. We'll begin by looking at the rule books. This is the Fallen Kickstarter Edition rules. This book will contain a number of descriptions that aren't in the retail game. See what else we have here. Here's the rules of play book, and I'll show you how thick this is. This is quite a book. Maybe similar in thickness to Descent, but maybe even a little thicker than the rule book for Descent. It's 40 pages. So there's a lot to read here and a lot to think about prior to playing. And I plan on doing at least one playthrough of this game, potentially through one story card, but we may go through an entire adventure just to show you how it works. At least my interpretation of how it works. Looks like a lot of fun. I will be digging into that shortly. Next, we have the dice. We have red, blue, white, black. Looks like we have a number of each color. There should be 22 inside. Let's take a look at some of the dice and see what's on them. Swords. This is, I'm assuming, a hit. Blank sides. Red dice have this funny symbol on them. I think this plays an important role in building your powers. I need to remember what the symbol is. Oh yeah. So this symbol allows you to charge your character's ultimate ability, which is a special ability they can use on their turn to deal damage to a monster or gain some sort of benefit. So you're going to want to see a lot of those if you can. The red die has 2 swords on some sides, 1 charge ability, looks like maybe only 1 charge, so you have only a 1/6 chance of getting it on this die. This blood symbol means you deal a wound to your opponent, which makes the opponent less effective. Here's another charge symbol. Charge symbols are located on 2 sides of the black die, as opposed to, let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, 2 sides of the black die, while wound symbols are located on 2 sides as well. And these will be important as we play the game. White dice, I believe, are similar. 1 charge symbol on 2 sides, 1 wound symbol on 2 sides. Yeah, looks pretty similar. I don't know what the difference is quite between the black and white die. If there is any difference. So let's continue on. Now this is what's impressive. These are the story cards that come with the game. And this will be the meat of the game, where you begin reading a story and figuring out what your character is going to do. The beginning of the story is on the side that has the gold description. This one, for example, is called Ascension, and you have some introductory text along with choices that you can make and the types of skills that you need to complete different types of choices. Heroes won't see these cards. These will be read by the Dungeon Lord character, who will use them who will allow the hero to make a choice and hopefully not influence that choice, but the choices that the hero makes will determine whether they are successful. If a person is especially strong, they would prefer to take this right-hand path. If they're knowledgeable, they'd prefer the left. I'm not sure if there are any clues, though, to tell you. We'll have to play through some and see. But there are a large number of cards from these sets, especially for the Kickstarter version. Let's continue on through. Here are the tokens that we'll be using through the game to mark whether our characters have a wound, to mark day and night cycles. I'm assuming that's what those are for. Experience points, webbing, different monsters. A lot of things to use these for, and we'll get into it as we play. These are nice. Nice and thick. These are the character sheets, and check this out. They are not bendable. This is cardstock. I mean, this is beyond cardstock. I like this a lot. And it's true for all of the heroes and the monsters. And the dungeon lords and the dungeon lords themselves. Wow, this is nice. I was not expecting that high quality. Continuing on, there are a lot of cards in this game. A lot. I have no idea what all of these are for yet. I've watched one playthrough by the developers, and I got some information about it, but that was a few months ago, so I may have to rewatch in order to familiarize myself. But I also just wanted to get my hands on the cards so I can begin looking at what's here and getting a better grasp of the game. That's one stack of the cards. Here is a second stack of cards. This is going to take some time. And finally, we have this thing called Broken Back. I think this is if your hero gets in deep trouble and the Overlord is potentially winning, you get some sort of nastiness. And that's it for what's in the box. So the tokens with the hearts on them are wound tokens. You put them on the monsters whenever they get wounded. The blue tokens are charge tokens. This is how you charge up your the ultimate ability of your hero. I'll give you an example of one of those. Arden the Knight needs 3 charge tokens to use Steel Defense. And it gives him some additional traits. It gives him like a fortune token. Experience points are here. This is how your hero or the Overlord levels up. And there are a few other types of tokens. The larger tokens here are reward tokens. And these are, you mix these up and draw from them whenever you win a challenge. And I believe with the reward tokens you get to pick with the reward tokens you get to either move the light meter in the game, or take a type of treasure card. Lots of different things you can do. Or get fortune. Or excuse me, yeah. Or get charge tokens or fortune. So these are the type of tokens you're going to want to get with your hero. Note also that when you're looking at the hero cards, the backs of the cards have a nice filler backstory that you can read through, along with providing you with the starting basic equipment cards. I believe the Dungeon Lord cards have similar information. You actually have a small vignette that you read to the heroes that begins the adventure. Let's continue by looking through some of the cards. I haven't looked at these at all, and I'm curious about how thick the card stock is. Given the thickness of the hero cards, I'm guessing it's going to be fairly nice quality. Not the thickest I've seen, but not very thin. It doesn't bend very easily. This is I don't know if it's quite Magic the Gathering level, but it is nice. Let's see what types of cards we have here. This is one of the Night Tracker cards. This would be the final level for the Dungeon Lord. These are, I believe, these are, they're not power cards, I think they're skill cards. Yes, skill cards. You can tell by what's on the back of the cards what type of card they are. These are monster cards, and I've been wanting to look at these a little bit more carefully. Here's an acid slime, and this is a level 2 creature. You get a red and blue die whenever you're trying to prevent the hero from accomplishing some sort of feat. And there's some descriptive text telling you what else the hero needs to do, or somehow altering the hero's capabilities. Note that depending on the type of feat that the hero is trying to overcome, I think this text only applies when that hero is attempting a particular type of feat. And also, the amount of hit points are shown here on the left hand side. For instance, the acid slime has 3 hit points. These are level 3s. They're a little larger, so they have 4 hit points. And then we get into the level 1s. And there's a lot of variety, it seems, in the types of monsters. We'll give it as I mentioned before, we'll give the game a playthrough and see how much variety. These are the item cards. These are treasures that the heroes can find, like the Purity Blade. Has a tap it. That's a tap symbol, I believe. But you gain a red die, and it forces the Overlord to lose a fortune token. Okay. So we've made it through a set of cards, the tokens. Let's go ahead and open up one of the story packs, and we'll start by looking at the core pack here. I believe there are 30 cards in the core game. Okay, so let's open these up. Mary Catherine has joined me. She's going to help me open some of this stuff. That pops open there, and these are fairly thick as well. They're double-sided. You begin on this side with where the gold is located. See that? And you follow through, and you get to see each of the type of feats that a hero has to perform. If you look at the hero cards, as a reminder, the hero cards have information on the bottom to show you the type of dice they roll when performing a particular type of feat. Red in the case of strength, so if we were to do this challenge, the hero would roll a red die, which is slightly better than the blue die. And when you're finished with this side, you flip the card over and you continue your story. And at the end, you select how the story ended up, and you get this many experience points, the amount depending on how the entire adventure went. When you're playing the game, you use this cover here to prevent the hero from seeing the rear of the card as you read the front of it or back of it. That way the hero doesn't know what other choices they could make, or what some of the consequences would be later on in the card. And there are tons of these, 30 in the regular set. You'll see that the Kickstarter set here is actually a little thicker than the basic set. You have, I think, 50 cards in the Kickstarter set. And now I've shown you each of the types. Oh, there's one other type of component, and that's these little wound type cards here. These are the various type of evil things that can happen to your hero. Broken back, concussion, confused, drained, malaise, hunted. I believe that when your hero's armor is broken and the Overlord deals a certain amount of damage, you take one of these. This one, for instance, weakened. Weakened must be charged before the hero uses an ultimate ability. So if you need 3 charges, you now need 4. And etc. And I think that's taken us through the entire box. This is what the inside of the box looks like. Nothing's left inside. A lot of good storage space, I think. I'm going to see how things store. It looks like, though, there shouldn't be a lot of mobility on the cards inside of the box. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to sleeve everything. And I think I will. We'll give that a test. And then we'll get back with you soon after we've learned how to play and gone through a few runs. Oh, one more thing to show you. These are the adventure packs. I mentioned that there were 4 possible to buy during the Kickstarter. The Ruined Stronghold, the Underworld Adventure Pack, the Dark Tower Adventure Pack, and finally, the Cataclysm Adventure Pack. And I purchased all 4. Let's open one and just see. I think it contains the same sort of thing that the other packs contained. I think we won't open this right now, but if you look, you can see the individual monsters here. This is the adventure card itself. These adventure cards are meant to be played as a set. So you put the there are I think 12 total, 2 sets of 6 adventures, so you get 4 different adventures that you play straight through, and it lets you build a story in a particular type of setting. For Cataclysm, you're probably in some sort of deep dungeon, as the text mentions here. So these will add some replayability to the game because you have 48 more adventure cards. Though with 80 already in the base game and Kickstarter set, I think we'll be playing this a long time. Alright, that's all the components. Thanks for watching. We will do a playthrough as soon as we can.